the Packers have a lot of players that they didn't have last year in the Super Bowl coming back who are actually better players than what they had, but it'll take them a little while to get back in the whole scheme of things, start being more natural together again. And I just think that the Saints have the power to overtake them. They're very similar teams. It's kind of a toss-up. I'm taking the Saints.
Steve.
I'm going to have to go with the Saints as well. I think Packers are going to suffer from a little bit of Super Bowl hangover, and Drew Brees is going to want to come out of the gate this season and take the lead by storm, show them. I think Saints will overcome the Green Bay Packers tomorrow night.
I've got the Packers at home. The Saints, as far as I'm concerned, they do have some offensive weapons, but I think they're still more of a wide receiver-heavy team. And with Brees being a passing quarterback, that's their style. And I think Green Bay will be able to pick off a pass. And I think that the Saints are too one-dimensional. The Packers still have those wide receivers. They've got stronger in that facet. They still have Aaron Rodgers, unfortunately. And they do have Ryan Grant coming back from injury, the running back. So that, coupled with James Starks, brings their running game into threat as well. So because they have more than one way to move the ball, I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers. The next matchup, Atlanta Falcons, Chicago Bears. Steven, who you got?
I like the Atlanta Falcons in this matchup. Chicago didn't really have anything shaken up over the offseason, pushed them over the edge to beat a team like the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan, one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, and I think he'll be able to throw over the Bears defense all game.
I agree with Steven. I don't think the Bears made any great off-season moves. They got the Pro Bowl safety, Brandon Merriweather from the Patriots a couple of days ago, but I mean I don't think that's going to do too much to help them. They now that the return game isn't going to be as good as it was because the kickoff was moved up. I think that takes Hester out of the game more than it usually would, and since that was a big factor of the Bears, I don't think their offense is good enough. I know the Falcons' defense isn't a great defense, but they do definitely have enough on offense to be able to beat the Bears, especially if they consider themselves to be a Super Bowl caliber team. They should beat the Bears.
I've got the Falcons as well. Simply put, Michael Turner still does have something left in the tank. Roddy White, the leading wide receiver last year in the entire NFL, and then you also look at Julio Jones, wide receiver coming right out of tough competition there in Alabama. So he definitely knows what he needs to do as well. Knows how to get the yards. And they do have enough players on defense. Babineau, I think his name is, has something. Corey Bierman has something on defense. So I think the defense is enough to overcome Chicago. But I think Cutler's too inconsistent and too deep a quarterback. Next matchup, this will be a fun one. I'll start since I guess we're going around. Cincinnati at Cleveland. I'm completely going for the shot in the dark. This is like between picking. I don't even know. I'm just going to take Cincinnati because they're a mess and you don't know what to expect from them. And Cedric Benson, he's able to run the ball. I think Andy Dalton will have something because I'm just not sure. I think Hillis fumbled the ball a little bit. It is at Cleveland, but at the same point, I expect a big game from Gresham, their tight end. I just think, although Cleveland's a better team, I'm just crazy and I just feel like taking Cincy.
I'm taking Cleveland. They have Colt McCoy, who's a young up-and-coming quarterback, of course, until he plays the Steelers and Ravens and gets his neck broken anyway, which will be later in the year. But other than that, I just think the Browns are a better team. Like Zach said, the Bengals are a mess. Their starting quarterback is going to be a rookie. Their running back is going to jail at some point here. The coaching's in question with Marvin Lewis. So there's a lot of questions that the Bengals have. And I think I'm going to take I'm taking the Browns this week.
The only thing I could think of, Browns versus Bengals game, is a 0-0 tie. Both of these teams are a joke in their own rightful way. The only thing that Cincinnati had was Chad Ochocinco. He's gone. Carson Palmer retired, and neither team can put up any points.
All right, we're gonna. From now on, guys, until we get to the Steelers matchup, let's just go in one sentence each, I guess, to speed it up a little bit.
All right.
Andrew, we'll start with you. Buffalo, Kansas City.
Kansas City, Buffalo is a mess. Steven, go ahead.
I'll take Buffalo.
Kansas City, Jamal Charles. Philadelphia at St. Louis.
Gotta go with the Eagles. A lot of acquisitions.
I agree Philadelphia as well. A lot of acquisitions, and the Rams aren't that good, but they'll probably win the division anyway.
Philadelphia, Steve Smith, and Deshaun Jackson with LaShawn McCoy. Detroit at Tampa Bay, I'm going to take Detroit, Matt Stafford at Calvin Johnson.
Detroit also, I know Tampa Bay is good, but I think Detroit's going to come out of the gates hot this year.
I like Detroit, Calvin Johnson, fade route, a lot of points.
Tennessee, Jacksonville.
Well, both of these teams are a mess. David Garrard just got released by the Jaguars. I have to take the Titans just because I trust their quarterback, Matt Hasselbeck, a little more. But it's a bad game, but I'm taking the Titans.
I like the Titans as well. Matt Hasselbeck, veteran quarterback, wins the game.
I'm taking the Titans because of Chris Johnson and the new contract, and he'll reward fantasy owners. We can give a couple sentences on this one, obviously, go through it a little bit more. Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Is this the last game you have, or are you the Monday night games?
We have more still. Do you want me to just go through those first?
You want to go through the ones first, we can just...
All right, we'll just do the one sentence then. Indy and Houston.
Boy, I'm taking Houston because Peyton Manning's out. I think this is finally the year that Houston overtakes them, finally, after about 5 years of having the opportunity to finally will.
I still like the Colts. Kerry Collins is a capable backup, still has a good roster around him.
I'm going to take the Colts. Houston's picked to win the division, don't believe it. You got Kerry Collins at quarterback. You got Pierre Garçon. You got Reggie Wayne, etc. Indianapolis. Steve, New York Giants, Washington.
I like the Giants in this game. Just Eli Manning wants it more, I think.
The Giants, Eli Manning over Rex Grossman. The Redskins are a terrible, terrible team.
Washington equals NFL's version of the Pirates, taking the Giants. Seattle...
Except the Redskins do spend a lot of money.
They're just too indecisive. Seattle, San Francisco, I'll start the bidding with the Seattle here. Taking Seattle, like what they have all over the ball, and I think Pete Carroll's a good, decent coach.
Who's Seattle playing? The
49ers.
I think I'm going to take the 49ers. I think, what's his name? John? Is it John Harbaugh or Jim? I get them confused.
It's Jim, I would think, because
Jim?
John's with Baltimore,
Yeah,
I think.
Jim.
Just Mr. Harbaugh.
I think Mr. Harbaugh, the one that isn't evil because he's not the coach of the Ravens one, is going to win his first game, and I just don't think Seattle has any real legitimate starting quarterback. It was kind of a joke. They have a lot of backup quarterbacks.
I think Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks will cheat their way to victory over the 49ers.
Andrew, Minnesota, San Diego.
San Diego, a lot of people's hot pick to win the AFC this year is the Chargers. It was in the Peter King's SI choice. He thought the Chargers would win the AFC. I'm taking that.
I think Minnesota will take this game. San Diego's defense going to have whiplash from looking at AP in the end zone all day.
Unless AP fumbles, which I'm going to take San Diego. Phillip Rivers can pass the ball to a tree and he'll still dominate the game. The big matchup, guys. Carolina and Arizona.
Carolina, Arizona. Oh boy, I'm taking Arizona because I don't think Cam Newton's going to be ready to win his first game. I think he'll surprise a lot of people this year. Well, he'll play well, but I just think Kevin Kolb has more experience, and therefore, with Larry Fitzgerald, he'll be able to take the game.
Like the Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald, new contract, and I think he is the most exciting person to watch in the NFL.
I can agree with that. I'll jump on the Arizona bandwagon here. I mean, you look at their quarterback now, Kevin Kolb. They finally have a proven quarterback that's known that he can gunsling his way to a 300 and 400-yard game. And as you said, with Larry Fitzgerald, he's got a huge, huge target. And Arizona has become Pittsburgh Steelers West. So if they can get some of that Pittsburgh Steeler talent rubbed off over there, then there's a good chance that they could be a sleeper this season. Sunday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Jets.
That's a good game. That's a tough one to pick. I'm going to take the Jets just because I hate the Cowboys.
I like the Cowboys in this one. Tony Romo's coming out with something to prove, and the Jets just look dismantled during the preseason.
I'll take the Jets. I mean, they still have a good receiving core. They got rid of a few guys, but Derek Mason's still there. Santonio Holmes is still there. I think Sean Green will finally get the carries and finally show that he's a capable running back. And with LaDainian Tomlinson in the background as a second back, that's always a good option to have in your back pocket. Monday Night Football. Patriots in Miami, and I'll get the bidding started with a unfortunate Patriot victory.
Patriots, Dolphins are the Dolphins again.
Reggie Bush is going to have the same result in Miami. I'll take the Patriots.
For some reason, this became a Monday Night Football matchup, Oakland at Denver.
I don't know how. It's just because they won a doubleheader. I'll take Oakland because of how well they played in the division last year, and I'm not so sure about Kyle Orton or any of the Denver quarterbacks, obviously.
I like the Raiders in this matchup. All the hype going around Terrell Pryor coming there. I think they'll win the game even though he's suspended.
Andrew took the Raiders again, correct?
Yes.
All right. Just making sure for statistical purposes, but I'm taking Denver. Brandon Lloyd, fantasy dream last year, had a very good season as wide receiver last year. He will regress a little bit, but you have him and you have no Sean Moreno, and Kyle Orton can pass the ball a little bit, and Brady Quinn had an impressive spring training, and oh yeah, that other dude named Tim Tebow is the third string quarterback. We have time, a couple minutes left to talk about Baltimore versus that team from Pennsylvania.
Do you care to start, Steven? No, whatever.
Joe Flacco simply can't beat Ben Roethlisberger. That's all there is to this matchup. First game of the season opener for both teams, and I think the Steelers are going to come out of the gate rumbling, and there's just going to be Baltimore's going to be out of this game as early as the first quarter, and Joe Flacco is going to be on his wallet, not knowing what to do when James Harrison and the rest of the Steelers defense knock him around.
Steven, I'm afraid you're going to take my job because not only are you doing a good job here with us today, but you're also saying exactly what I was going to say about the Steelers. I think it comes down to one thing, and because the teams are so even, it's Ben Roethlisberger versus Joe Flacco, and Ben will win that 9 out of 10 times, and he's won all 6 matchups against him, so we haven't seen that 10th time yet. In Joe Flacco's career, the defenses are both old, both really good. But the Ravens did look sloppy during the preseason for as much as I got to watch them. I didn't get to watch all of their games, or really the whole game of any of them. But I just think the Steelers are going to come out firing. The Ravens have been thinking about the Steelers since they beat them in the playoffs last year, and I think it's the Steelers are just going to be able to, really have a kind of not easy, but a little blowout victory they'll pull away in the end.
Simply put, look at the Steelers' wide receiving core. You got Hines Ward, who can run those little slant routes. You got Mike Wallace, who can run those slant and deep routes. Antonio Brown's poised for a breakout year. That's the absolute truth. He's going to be a deep threat just like Wallace. They'll be sharing the yards together. And Jericho Cotchery is number 4 wide receiver. I mean, you can't go wrong. Elite player. Knows where the first down marker is, will catch the ball, got the first down marker, knows where to go there. Emmanuel Sanders, a big-time player, too. So you got loaded wide receiving core, which, considering Mendenhall's, doesn't have his best games against the Ravens, will definitely be needed. It'll definitely come down to Big Ben, and it very well could come down to the 2-minute warning. And as I've said at least a jillion times on this show, there is no quarterback better in the 2-minute warning than Ben Roethlisberger. And
all right, well, that's good talk. We'll definitely talk about them more next week after the game. We're up against a break. It's 5 o'clock. We'll start our second hour after the commercial break and a weather update, and then one more CMJ. And you're listening to A to Z Sports here on 670 AM WPPJ Radio.